FTC loses trial against Microsoft. 87% of classic games are disappearing. Need for Speed Most Wanted to get a remake? All of this news and more in today's episode. This is a week in gaming. Hi, I'm the Honey Badger bringing you the most important news from this week. Jumping straight into, we're gonna go right ahead with the FTC versus Microsoft trial. Yes, big story, and I just want to get it out of the way, right? Because we have a lot to talk about today. But seriously, when is this thing gonna be over? Like, for real? It keeps going and going and going. But before anything, and before I keep going, a quick recap for those that don't know what this is all about, although that's kind of difficult if you haven't heard about it. But Activision's acquisition was announced by Microsoft back at the start of 2022. While most regulators have ruled in favor, so far only two, the CMA from UK and the FTC from USA, have ruled against it, and even gone so far as to block it, or try to do so. That leads us to the current events. The FTC wanted a judge to grant them an injunction to block the deal. However, odds weren't in their favor because after the trial, the judge has ruled in favor of Microsoft. Now, this isn't celebration time just yet, because the FTC at the time of writing this on Wednesday 12th has placed an appeal to the trial's decision. So, back to fighting again. But that isn't all. Once the results of the trial were made public, the CMA, which previously had blocked the deal even after multiple appeals from Microsoft, now their resolve has changed and are open to arrange new agreements. How convenient, don't you think? Now, most of the CMA concerns were about cloud gaming market. The FTC shared similar concerns, but during the trial, most of them were talking about the central piece of their evidence was PlayStation being damaged or having a potential damage to this console, which is, it's a rather strange way to start the trial, right? Considering PlayStation right now is the market leader on consoles. Although we're not gonna leave Nintendo outside, right? Because they are very powerful as well. But while the CMA wants to go over the deal with Microsoft, they said that they want a brand new investigation must be conducted, and they have applied a new set of timelines to do that because this type of investigations can last up to 40 days. Now we also have to consider that Microsoft is in a tight timeline, since July 18th is the last day they have to end the acquisition or lose $3 billion from a termination fee. So potentially not looking good for Microsoft. However, many analysts say that Microsoft could find a middle ground with regulators before the deadline arrives.
Now, quick update to the story that is still developing and rapidly. So the FTC placed an appeal that I mentioned before, but it was denied by the judge. So now they moved into another process to get the appeal. However, that process could take a few days, which is unfortunate for them because Microsoft today at midnight will be legally able to acquire Activision. So potentially we can see a lot of movement happening, and it seems like we will, because apparently since yesterday morning, Activision was removed from Nasquad. I don't know how to pronounce it. I am so sorry. But yeah, it was removed from it, meaning that the only possibilities why this is happening is because a merger is about to be concluded. Coincidence? I think not. I think this deal is gonna be, I don't know, I say it's gonna be happening either tomorrow or on Sunday, or they might wait to Monday. I don't think they're gonna wait that long, because they really want this thing done, right? So let's see what happens. Hopefully next week I can bring you guys in a new set of news with more information of what this leads us, but right now this story is still in development. So let's see what comes to the next couple of coming days, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week. But it's not the end of the video though. Back to the previous recording.
No, in reality, at least in my opinion, just want this thing to be over. Whatever the outcome is, it's been a year and a half of back and forth between Microsoft and regulators. Someone should make you know what? Someone should make a TV show out of it, like for real. It could be super interesting, but also like be able to put in all of these things that have been happening throughout the year that this has been going on, because a lot of things have happened. Like, to finally see it in a shorter timeline, it will be a lot interesting. But oh well. Moving on from the FTC trial, Xbox had an eventful week aside from that information of the FTC. On Tuesday, ID at Xbox had a showcase. For those that don't know, ID at Xbox is an initiative for the company to help out smaller teams of developers bring their video games into reality. Now, the showcase had a total of 20 games from different styles and types, lots of pixel-inspired games, and single-player adventures. But the best part of all of this, you can try them out on any Xbox console until July 17th. So, you still have time. If you're watching this video on Friday 14th, don't lose any more time. Go and enjoy them. Also, for those that haven't tried Game Pass, good news, because the $1 1 month of Game Pass is back. Since the prices of the service have gone up or are gonna go up for a few countries, I imagine Xbox is trying to lure more players to try the service with this promotion. But I say to you, wait till Starfield comes out and then redeem the promotion and enjoy a AAA game without spending a lot of money. Just $1. Now on to the last news from Xbox. Now this one is a big one because they are implementing a new voice reporting feature. Remember back in 2020 when PlayStation had to apologize because of recording voice chats, and that caused confusion because of the purpose of this type of recordings. All of it was for moderation, but it was all in confusion, right? So now Xbox is taking this jump, and the system is set to give the option to capture and report inappropriate in-game voice chats. Now, the way this feature is gonna work, it's similar to how you capture clips or videos. You're gonna be able to capture like the last seconds from your voice chats. However, this is only gonna be available for moderation, and it won't appear on your feed like clips or screenshots do. Also, the clips are only gonna live on your console for approximately 24 hours, giving you the option to either submit it on the moment or maybe wait a little bit. You never know. You might have been heated yourself and be like, I'm gonna report you. Well, and the other guy is also like, I'm gonna report you back, and then at the end you're like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know. Maybe it's that for type of occasions. But the system will also send you a reminder to report if you haven't completed one within the 24-hour period. If you decide not to report, the clip is gonna be erased forever from your console automatically. So right now, this feature is only available on Insider Program. If you are part of it, you can probably see it already. And it's also only gonna be available for English language markets, not for any other language. I mean, they're probably gonna test it out with English first and later put it out for others. But now, on to another piece of news. EA announces a new Black Panther game. That's right, on Monday, EA published in all of its social media, Cliffhanger Games, a new AAA development, is working on an original third-person single-player Black Panther game. The development team is led by Kevin Stevens, who has also worked on Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, Halo Infinite, God of War, Call of Duty, and many others. So from the little details they have mentioned during the announcement, the plan is to create a whole world around the main character and allowing the player to feel like a true Black Panther. I am not trying to get excited from all of these words thrown around like immersive, expansive, reactive, sandbox, but it is a bit difficult because the idea of the game sounds amazing. Now, EA is assembling the Avengers Initiative because we got to remember that they are also working on another single-player game around Iron Man. So this is gonna turn interesting. I'm trusting EA right now just because they have been on a roll. They have continued to put out good quality games recently. So I'm thinking they're finally letting their developers construct something with vision and passion. So hopefully that will lead us into a bright and exciting time for fun and spectacular superhero games. Fingers crossed. Now, before continuing with bigger news, here are some quick updates. First, The Last of Us show has received a total of 24 nominations. If you have seen the show, you won't be surprised by this one. It could potentially break records if it takes all of them or most of them. Now, also, Street Fighter 6 has sold over 2 million copies. The game continues to see success after a month of launch. And it's probably because it has a great introduction when presenting its mechanics to new players and makes the game much more inviting. And of course, the visuals. The game looks awesome. Now, for different types of news and a little bit of a fun fact, if you want to achieve greatness at the levels of Tears of the Kingdom, then expect to miss out on games that are coming out. Because apparently that's what happens with Tears of the Kingdom staff, where commenting during an interview, Nintendo's developers have said that to maintain their games as original as possible, they didn't even get to play Elden Ring, because they wanted to work on Tears of the Kingdom and, you know, at least work it out as original as they could, not take any other mechanics from other games. But I hope now that Tears of the Kingdom is out, they're enjoying the reviews and the praise as well as whatever game they didn't get to play before. Now, another set of short news, Respawn recently premiered Jedi Survivor, but instead of taking time after arduous work, they are already working on the next one. News is they have hired developers, they have started hiring developers for this project. Exciting, I know, because they are starting to bring in and to try and achieve their proper finale for Cal Kestis trilogy. Now, another news, because this is also part of EA, within EA. At the start of the show, I mentioned the possibility of a remake. A Need for Speed Most Wanted remake seems to be cooking, though it isn't one of the darlings from the Need for Speed franchise like, you know, Underground. But it is definitely one of the beloved games within it. The rumor gained traction after a voice actor said that the remake is coming next year. Though the post of the person has already been deleted, it was enough for people to start a conversation. But what about you guys? Are you excited to see this remake, or would you prefer another game within the Need for Speed franchise? And now finally, for the last short news, we have Twisted Metal showed its official trailer. From all the success gaming has been receiving in TV shows, it isn't a surprise that this game is getting its release on the small screen. And I mean, this show is probably gonna try and show the insanity and explosiveness that, you know, video games can have. Now, the reception of the trailer has been with mixed reviews. Some don't expect great things, and others are they just want to see explosion and cars shooting at each other, right? And crashing. So, if you're into that type of stuff, you're probably excited as well. But now, back to bigger news, because it seems Sony is about to invest, or it's thinking on investing $2.1 billion on research and development for games in live service. That is a hefty amount of money. All of this money is supposedly going to help PlayStation expand into the live service industry. And it only seems like the next logical step for Sony to step up the game after making moves like they have been doing this last couple of months. And of course, right after buying Bungie and other studios, which all of them are going to be focusing on live service games. We already know Bungie is preparing their next game, Marathon, which is believed to come out in the coming years. If you want to know more about that, I have a video especially for that. But there are other studios also working on games similar as Marathon and Destiny 2. So this new way of developing games seems like an interesting path for Sony. They have mostly been known to create like the best single-player experiences. Of course, they won't stop creating those, but it isn't difficult to see why they're taking this new investment path. Live service games, if done correctly, can be a huge income of revenue. It has worked for Fortnite, Rocket League, Apex Legends, and many others, including Destiny 2. Those games keep gaining money without the need of creating a brand new game from scratch and mostly having to update them with some regularly. But at the end of the day, it's gonna fall in those games to become the success for this big chunk of money not to go into the trash. So let's see what happens. Right now, it's too early to make assumptions. And then another piece of news still talking about online experiences. This news is a big one, because Indie Studio Gardens raised $31.5 million for an ambitious social RPG. Gordon Studios is a mix of indie developers that have created or worked on games like What Remains of Edith Finch, Journey, Ashen, and Sky Children of Light, just to mention a few. So it's a studio that has a great portfolio of games. All of their games have vision and incredible creative visuals. Now, with an amount of that size of money, you can make something special, and they seem to be trying to go for that. The unnamed game is described as an ever-evolving online player versus environment fantasy adventure sandbox action RPG. I know, a mouthful. But it's gonna carry the spirit of innovative social multiplayer ideas previously explored in games like Journey and Sky Children of Light. The core of the game will have to do a lot with social mechanics. If you want to complete dungeons, raids, and other activities, you're gonna need the help of other players. But beware, because just as you can trust on them, you can put trust on them and explore and fight. The twist is you and the other players can betray each other at any point. It looks like a cool idea, even if there are plenty of games out there with the focus of PvP and PvE. Not many approach the genre with a social focus. So if applied correctly to this game, it could potentially become something huge, or at least special. For our final news, and this one is very important for the history of gaming, because it's been reported by a study that revealed 87% of games, classical games, are completely unavailable. The study conducted by the Video Game History Foundation concluded that games before 2010s are not even 25% of those games are of easy access, meaning they are going extinct. Sadly, there isn't a plan in place to preserve video game history, at least not in a legal way. So within the study, it suggested that games could potentially be protected in stores and libraries where people can have easy access to them and continue to enjoy them. However, outdated legislations and minor interest by companies has continued to help on the disappearance of these games. Some argue that having libraries of games available is more damaging than helpful because people wouldn't find the need to buy newer games. And today I say it is BS because yes, even though you are gonna wanna go back to play older video games, you still wanna play the newer ones. I mean, the newer ones look cool, they have new concepts, they are continuing something from a previous game. So yeah, you're gonna try the new ones, but you might also wanna go back. And I mean, it's not just people wanting to go back. Like, newer generations are not gonna have the access to those games that many of us have enjoyed in the past. And why doubt that making a library of games is damaging? Why? We already have libraries of other media, and people still continue to watch and purchase newer movies, TV shows, etc. It makes no sense to say that having a video game library will affect the current industry. But of course, this is not just about keeping a library, it involves other things, license, and all of this legal stuff that I don't understand, so I'm not gonna try and say I do. But if you want to learn more about the topic, I suggest you go and watch the video on the Completionist YouTube channel. That guy is so passionate on this topic and can illustrate a lot better the situation than I can. So I'll also leave a link to the study in the description and to the video of the Completionist. But just as a quick bonus before ending, I know a lot of news, but just quickly, Banisher's Ghost of New Eden has announced a release date for November 7, 2023. This game is from Do Not Entertainment, the creators of Life is Strange, and the game is set up, if you don't know about it, it's set up to follow two Banishers who are a couple named Antina Duarte and Red Mac Wraith. The duo has lived to protect the world from ghosts, but we find that Antina has become a spirit herself. Now it seems that Red is striving to find a means to bring her from the dead. This game is gonna be available for PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. So, if you're excited, you wanna see what this is about, go ahead and look at the new trailer. But that's all for this episode. I swear, this is all. I just want to ask real quick, what are your thoughts on this week's gaming news? I know it's a lot. I mean, the FTC information by itself is a lot. But let me know in the comment section what you think. I hope the video wasn't too long for you. There were a lot of stories to cover. I'm the Honey Badger, and I love to talk about everything gaming, from news to games. If you liked the video, remember to leave a like and share. It really helps. Don't forget to subscribe. I love to post videos about gaming news and reviews or recommend games. So, see you on the next video. Keep on gaming.